please.
Come on, Ginger.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
1 minute past, I'll call the meeting to order. And we do have a couple of, well, an addition and a deletion.
Denise, we're not on.
Can you explain the addition and the, for the audience?
We have two additions. We have an order that is for cancellation of property tax and a match agreement for the road department. We are deleting the OLCC temporary license as it was acted upon yesterday. It was ratification for order to antelope.
Any public comment? Frank, good to see you here.
Oh, just so glad to be here. Missed you guys while I was gone. Caught a lot of fish. So went to a couple of outstanding museums in Oklahoma. I know one of them, the Woolaroc, W-O-O-L-A-R-O-C. Get some input on it on the computer. It has one of the largest gun collections in the country. Got a lot of military stuff also. So I had a good trip, caught a lot of fish, missed you guys. Glad to be back.
Miss having you here, Frank. And with that museum with lots of guns, I expect Commissioner Winters to be on the road starting after this session. Any other public comment? If not, we're close to 10:05. We have a public hearing on the transportation plan update ordinance 114. Was Dawn going to be here?
I'm here.
There you are.
I'm hiding in the back. Got a large audience today.
For the sake of the audience on the video, will you give a little brief of the plan and then
Yeah,
leave it open for a hearing?
Real quick, hello audience. I'm not sure how many people watch, but I hope more do and show up to our meetings. That's just another rant. The transportation system plan of 2002 is well out of date. We need to update it. So the Oregon Department of Land Conservation and Development, in connection with ODOT, has the TGM, Transportation Growth Management grants that we can get, and so that grant was applied for and awarded to Lake County, and we hired Kettleson Engineering, and they handled the update for our transportation system plan, which also includes references in our comprehensive plan for the new TSP, but also new goals and policies for transportation, and as well as additions to our zoning ordinance and our land development ordinance. And those are all referenced in the materials you have and been available to the public through the planning commission process, of which they held a couple hearings on this, as well as you guys have held 2 hearings on this back on the 14th and 15th of June, and now we're holding the official hearings for ordinance update. So we've definitely had the public awareness of this, and it's been published in the Examiner multiple times, even a front page article at one point, and there's certainly any more information I can share with people. I'll be glad to do what we're holding this again, I believe, in 2 weeks. So, that's enough for me. If you have any questions.
In 2 weeks, another hearing?
Yeah, it sounds like
This is the first two.
First, 2 official hearings.
Correct.
Then the hearing is left open. I'll close it at a later time. 10:10, got 5 minutes here. Let's go down.
I promised Mr. Knowles that we would try and scoot him through.
Okay.
All right. We're kind of going through and cleaning up some loose ends, and this is in regards to personal property taxes for McFarland Door, and they went out of business and they were foreclosed upon, and they were LLC. And this is 2013 taxes. We've had other accounts for the new owners, and they're on board, they're paying, but this is something that should have been taken out, and it's uncollectible funds, it's on the tax roll, it's kind of misleading. So, that's why I'm bringing this for you guys, asking for an order to dismiss these taxes.
What's the amount?
The tax itself is going to be $1597.19.
1597, 1,000.
$1,597.19.
So, gentlemen, discuss this.
No, Dave was on, he wasn't here yesterday, but he has discussed this with us individually. This company was an LLC, this should have been cleaned up a couple years ago, my understanding. This all follows the ORS, the right way to do this. And so with that, I will go ahead and make a motion in the matter of the cancellation of delinquent property taxes to accept the order. Doesn't have an order number, I don't believe we put order numbers on, in the amount of $1,597.19 as uncollectible taxes.
I'll second it.
Motion been made and seconded to issue an order to cancel the taxes.
Great, thank you.
On, any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Newspaper designation, Mr. Knowles,
I'm sorry.
before you leave.
Okay.
I'm just asking you about the designated examiner as the official paper for the.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Publication.
We talked about it yesterday, we just need to act on it today.
Okay.
Who's going to bring that up?
So I was thinking the assessor was.
So Dave, each
Yeah, I'm sorry.
you're up, so each year we have to designate a newspaper, and that's what the assessor's office uses for all the notification of foreclosed properties and so on.
Okay, those are gonna be coming up, George is working on those. We're sending out notices this Friday, we'll be sending out delinquent notices and the following 10 days later, and then we'll be having, notification will be in August, I believe it's the 18th, I didn't bring that date with me.
And so we'll be designating as our official newspaper record the Lake County Examiner.
Yes.
I will make that motion that we do that.
Okay.
I'll second the motion.
Motion been made and seconded to designate the Lake County Examiner as our designated newspaper. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you.
10. Lorianne.
Morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
For the record, Todd Gregory with Obsidian Renewables.
Laurie Hutchinson with Obsidian Renewables.
We are here to discuss three issues that we went over in some detail yesterday at in the work session meeting regarding some our solar projects in the county. The first issue was to extend the lease term in our option agreement with the county on the airport property from, right now the lease term is 20 years with an additional 1 5-year period. We'd like to extend it to 2 additional 5-year periods, and
2 additional, so it'll be 10 years.
10 years total, so it'll be 30 years instead of 25 years maximum.
Total,
Lease
maximum.
period, yeah. So, we need to do this because the financing parties that we've been discussing the project with believe that the lifespan of the project is, could be longer than 25 years, and we make sure that we have a lease term, you know, that matches up with the lifespan of the project, so. And it's just, you know, it's more revenue to the county, more lease payments to the county, so, yeah.
You guys discussed this yesterday,
Yeah.
was there anything of substance?
No, Mr. Bailey's reviewed it.
It just kind of makes sense to me. Any other discussion, gentlemen?
No, I'll make a motion to accept the addendum to option agreement between Lake County and Airport Solar LLC as presented for an additional 2 5-year options.
For an additional one, Commissioner, or?
It's, they have
They have
one already,
Oh,
they want to add one more.
Yeah, okay.
I was gonna give you 35.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Okay, motion's been made, so.
Can't get away with anything.
That's right.
Got these guys keeping an eye.
Okay, motion is so made. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, it just makes sense.
Sorry about that, Commissioners.
That's all right.
The second issue that we discussed yesterday was to make all of our projects consistent, frankly, throughout the entire state. We want to put all of our projects on the newest tax program with the payment in lieu of tax, the pilot program. And there's 3 projects that we're in development right now that we want to put on the pilot program. That's the airport project, the Fossil Lake project, and the Fremont project. The agreements look substantially the same as the agreements that we did for our existing projects that are under the pilot agreement. We changed the names and added property descriptions, actually attached the agreements to specific properties in this agreement. And so nothing new here. I think just to kind of reiterate the benefits of the pilot agreement are to provide certainty to both the county and the development community for long-term budgeting purposes and for our sake financing purposes. And it's a fair assessment of where the tax rates, about what the money would be for coming in, we think, to drive growth in the solar industry while also providing some revenue to the taxing jurisdictions that are going to get in.
And just for the audience present and on the camera, the past meetings was through kind of like the enterprise zone, and it was centrally assessed out of Salem, and it kind of fluctuated. And the state legislature last year passed this bill to have an option, it would agree with both counties, to have a flat, what is it, $7,000?
The agreement is for $7,000 for an AC 91 capacity. So on the airport project, for example, it's going to be around $350,000, depending on where the project size actually ends up, but in that ballpark.
And that's for a term of 20 years.
And that's for a term of 20 years.
Yeah, that's where the certainty comes in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one in front of us, you mentioned 3, but one in front of us is just one, also like.
No, all 3.
There should be all 3 there.
They're all
So-
put together.
Yeah.
So yesterday there was a question asked about, was it the Fossil Lake one?
Fremont.
Fremont, yeah.
And I see after reviewing that the tax law and everything is on the back of these.
Yeah, we identified it as either or.
And did we get an answer back from Mr. Bailey on?
We didn't really see any issues with it. It was all we sent.
So we're allowed to be able to, you can move that.
Okay. Yeah, just to, for Commissioner Kestner, on the Fremont agreement, we're not exactly sure if we're gonna build it in its current location where it has the conditional use permit, or we're gonna move next to, the kind of adjacent parcel next to Fossil Lake. So we identified the two parcels to make sure we're covered either way. So if there was a question whether or not, we could do that, Mr. Harris, is it all right?
And on the planning side, Darwin, we had the discussion
Yeah.
that
The planning, both projects are currently approved, with the expansion of 80 acres on that other half to the north of Fossil Lake would require conditional use permit approval, but I'm glad that you're taking care of it now. Personally, I'd like to see both projects built at their locations and the expansion.
but you don't see no issues.
No, there's definitely no issue, and we'll get through the land use if and when they decide to move in that direction.
So we probably ought to take these individually, so I'll make the motion to accept the payment in lieu of tax agreement on Fremont Solar as presented.
Second.
Motion made and seconded on the Fremont Solar. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
I'll make the motion to accept the payment in lieu of tax agreement on Fossil Lake Solar.
Second.
Motion made, seconded on the Fossil Lake Solar for payment in lieu of taxes. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
I'll make a motion to accept payment in lieu of taxes agreement on Airport Solar as presented.
Second.
Motion made and seconded on the Airport Solar for payment in lieu of taxes. All in favor?
Aye.
I'll let you do the third one.
All right. The third matter that we discussed yesterday and are seeking approval for today is non-disturbance agreements for county-held mineral rights for the Fossil Lake property and the property directly north of the Fossil Lake property. It's the property that we were just discussing where we may move the Fremont project to. You'll remember that last year we did the extensive transfer of mineral rights for the properties that we own that were found to have no potential value for mineral. And that ended up being kind of a lengthy process, and we decided for the Fossil Lake property, it might be most straightforward to just pursue a non-disturbance agreement, and we think that'll give enough certainty to the investors if we can get some assurance from the county that there won't be any disturbance for the life of the solar project. The minerals, the potential mineral found there was diatomaceous earth. So it would be foregoing your rights to do anything with diatomaceous earth for a term of about 35 years.
I saw 40 in here.
40, was it 40? Yeah, maybe we were being conservative.
You did have to get a letter for 40 days.
Yeah, for the audience and Frank, Obsidian has the surface rights on several properties, and the county over the years had the mineral rights underneath, and most of them, as mentioned, didn't have any valuable minerals unknown, so we went in and transferred the minerals, except for this one.
Yeah.
In 40 years, who knows what the value of diatomaceous may or may not be, so the county decided to hold on to the mineral rights. And, but on this agreement, we won't come in and start backhauling and shoveling and exploring our minerals and disrupting your operation for 40 years. Gentlemen, any other discussion?
Just clarification on the non-disturbance side, on paragraph 3 on agreements. It says that there can't be no disturbance within 200 feet of any individual proposed or existing improvements to the Obsidian Renewables property. Does that mean this extends off your property onto the adjoining private property or other properties? I apologize, I didn't catch that until just now.
I don't believe so. I don't think we would have the right to
I wouldn't think you would.
restrict you from somebody else's
If we
property.
sign an agreement that gives you the right for what it says.
Well, I'm sort of asking the board to read that, and see what how they read it. Legal counsel isn't sitting there with us, but when I read that, I just, for some reason, it said 200 feet from any individual proposed or existing improvement to Obsidian Renewables property.
There's generally a pretty good setback, we're gonna be set back from the road So any improvement, I mean, we'll have a fence probably pretty close to the road, but any, solar panels will be probably 30 feet from the road. So we're getting to be where we'd be in the middle of a county right of way anyway.
Well, what I worry about is private property alongside it that
Yeah.
does want to develop, because we have experienced out in those areas, some of the areas, diatomaceous earth.
Mhm.
There was a kitty litter plant, and sometimes they'll mine right up to the side of private property. Am I reading it wrong?
No, I'm reading it, and it's a little hard to distinguish, but it appears to be that it's talking about anything within 200 feet of the existing or improvement to the fossil lake property.
And even a fence would be an improvement.
Yeah,
And I don't see the value of having that in there personally. I mean, we're signing the non-disturbance agreement on the land itself.
mhm.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I don't think we need to concern ourselves with the land adjacent to it.
Yeah, no, the whole intention is to, basically have you guys agree to not dig up the site, right?
Right.
Our site,
Right.
not the neighbor's property.
Exactly.
So if there's language in there that we can put in there that clarifies that,
So, yeah, even if it's privately owned property next to you, not county, if I had to go through a planning commission meeting for private property, we would be an agent in proposing or not proposing a disturbance.
I think I might be in error. I think when we read it, it says, here, activity on or under the surface of the option renewal property located within 200 feet of any individual proposed or existing improvement. So it does say option renewables property located. So maybe it is, you can take that as it is only their property.
Yeah, I mean, it
I'm
sounds like
I'm
it's,
trying to make it fit.
Yeah.
We're all looking here with it.
well, we're on the record here too with, telling me what the intent of the agreement is to.
Appreciate that, but 20 years from now.
20 years is a long time,
We
or 40
might want
years.
it in writing today.
Well, what would be wrong if we look, and I'm looking at the fossil lake, I'm sure that Lake City knows the same, but if you go where it says this section 3, the meaning of disturbed shall include without limitation any activity involving exploring, drilling, digging, blasting on or under the surface of the fossil lake property, period.
It's just, yeah.
yeah, and then any activity on or under, I think if we could continue that and stop after
Okay.
fossil lake property period,
Okay,
and then just get rid of located within
yeah,
200 feet.
I
I mean, that just says, you're not disturbing our property, period.
Right.
I think this is meant to say, maybe you could disturb our property if you could stay 200 feet away from a solar panel,
Yeah.
which, if we develop the property, we're gonna develop the whole property, that won't be
Yeah.
200 feet from a panel.
yeah.
So I-
It just clears it up so it's not misinterpreted by anybody.
Okay,
That's fine, we can do it with that amendment.
Okay.
change,
With that,
yeah.
So we can act on it today on the understanding that you would give us a new version with that correction.
Yeah, and the correction will be taking out everything from located within 200 feet to the end of to the period.
Yeah,
we'll just strike that.
So the period would be at what point?
Right after property.
Right after property, yeah.
Meaning, well, there's two properties.
Yeah,
The
so
last-
right,
The last,
so it'd be, the period will be after and any activity on or under the surface of the fossil lake property, period.
Period.
And another one would be right after the opposite of renewable property.
Great.
So with that, I'll make a motion to accept the non-disturbance agreement on fossil lake property with the clarification and correction to be a period after property on number 3 on non-disturbance.
I'll second
And
that.
the other part of the name.
Second.
to get the corrections before we sign.
Fine.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good catch, Commissioner Butters.
I'll make a motion to accept the non-disclosure agreement between Obsidian Renewables and Lake County with the same correction and deletion of the period after Obsidian Renewables property period and the rest of it deleted on non-disclosure third paragraph.
Second it.
Motion made and seconded. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Commissioners.
Thank you.
Go with the
Thank
projects.
you.
Yeah.
We'll get you
Give us correction.
we'll get you the updated. Sure.
Thank you.
Thanks. When I said we on the board.
That's where we say thank you, all right?
Yeah.
You're welcome, you're welcome.
Okay, you guys driving back to Lake Oswego now?
We're gonna visit some the project's underway out at Blacktop right now. So they brush beat the property and, they've plowed roads and, they're going up a buck out there, so, full mobilization here in the next couple of weeks. So we're going out to the project site to see how that's going, and then we'll head back to this afternoon.
Now, on the fence they put around, it's too tall for deer to jump, right?
Yeah.
Do you have a little patches where you put the little red boxes to come in and use ice?
You know, we
No.
were just talking about the rodents on the existing sites.
We saw 5 badgers after this year.
Inside the fence?
Well, just on the property.
Yeah, and they, the O&M guy who we're meeting up with today said that it's just the whole site in the snow is just tunneled.
Yes.
It's just, yeah, we probably could get a predator in there and,
I mean, just a strategically placed,
Yeah.
cut out a little entrance hole.
yeah.
The hawks don't go hungry out there.
Yeah. But you need more than one hole because they don't always find the same way back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those rodents can be a nuisance.
Yeah.
You said you seen 5 badgers? So the new name's gonna be the Badger Renewal?
Yeah. I've never seen one down here before.
Really?
We saw a bunch of them out there.
Yeah.
Go up and try to pet one, see how.
Yeah.
They're so
Nice and snuggly.
That's pretty sad.
Very cuddly.
Yeah, they're annoying.
Yeah.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you next time.
Safe travel. Next item, the Oregon Health Authority / Mental Health Agreement 147793, amendment number 8 and 9.
We discussed this yesterday, Mr. Chair, and not a whole lot to discuss. There's the amendments that come through. One is added dollars, the other one is dollars that weren't able to be used because of clients. We did not have the clients come in on the gambling side of it. Denise did mention that she had talked with Kimberly Lindsay, and Kimberly reviewed these, legal counsel reviewed them, and they're all good to go.
And for the record, Kimberly Lindsay is our interim mental health director.
Thank you.
I'll entertain a motion on each individually.
Okay, I'll make a motion to accept amendment number 8 to the Oregon Health Authority 2015-17 intergovernmental agreement for the financing of community addictions and mental health services agreement number 147793.
Motion been made and seconded to accept amendment number, that was 8, correct?
Yep.
Typically, our mental health agreement with state is 2-year agreement, and there's always little amendments periodically just to adjust here and there. That's what he's basically entails. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
You want to make a motion? I'm going to keep going all day.
Go ahead.
You're on a roll. Finish.
I'll make a motion to accept amendment number 9 to the 2015-17 intergovernmental agreement for the financing of community addictions and mental health services agreement number 147793.
You might state the dollar amount.
This is in the minus. This is minus of $9,528. The one before that was an addition of $5,000, two different programs, but this is on the gambling, problem gambling treatment, which we have not had clients needing that service, so the dollars have to be returned if not used.
I'll second it.
Motion made second on amendment number 9. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
I don't know if you wanna sign those or Brad.
All right. Pass it down to Commissioner Winters, please. Bid process, exemption number 9 request, shoulder rock crushing.
Okay, this is our office manager's on vacation this week, so I'll bring this forward. This, we have crushing going on out at the plush pit right now. This is a separate crushing, not associated with the federal highways dollars that they're crushing for. But while they're set up there, under rule number 9 is cost savings for the county to go ahead and purchase and not have to pay the mob or demob of a rock crusher and be able to purchase 4,000 yards at 3/4 minus, basically shoulder rock. So we're able to do this for $6 a yard. Total cost would be $24,000 out of Taylor's Pit and Plush. And it's been reviewed by legal counsel. Christie has sent it to him. He's reviewed it. And we're able to purchase this under Rule 9 as cost savings to the county. So I'll make the motion to accept the purchase of 4,000 yards at $6 a yard, shoulder material from the Taylor's Pit under Rule 9.
I'll second it.
Motion made and seconded to accept the bid process exemption number 9 for the shoulder rock. And basically, as you mentioned, the crush will be out there for another project, and this is just capitalizing.
Yeah, quite a savings to the county, yeah,
Savings.
capitalizing on being there.
Yeah, won't have to mobilize in and out. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
They did want to shade more than $6, so we done good.
Public transit agreement, 31370, discretionary funds.
This is for our special transportation program. We were recently awarded an additional $15,000 for our bus barn that's gonna be built in North Lake. So this agreement is just for those additional funds.
Bus barn, who's gonna do the stall shelving?
Install shoveling. Ha ha.
Uh-huh.
Funny.
Basically,
Love that.
it's for a shelter for public transit buses.
The reason we needed the additional funds, just in open session, we originally were just going to park one bus. We've now purchased additional vehicles. We now have our 2 new vans for our program. So we are going to be parking 2 vehicles in that bus barn rather than 1, so that's why.
Yeah, it's a good thing, Denise. So I'll make a motion that we approve Oregon Public Transit Agreement number 31370 in the amount of $15,000 for the construction of the bus barn located in Christmas Valley for our special transportation program in North Lake.
I'll second the motion. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. We still have a hearing open on the public transportation. Haven't heard no comments. I'll close that hearing. So we do have a 3 o'clock mental health.
We have one more addition.
What was that, master agreement?
Yeah, match agreement.
Match
And-
agreement.
You gotta go ahead with it.
Go ahead.
Okay, apologize for this getting in right at the last minute. This is also with our office manager's road department on vacation. This has a date, needs to be in place by the 10th of July. And so this is a match agreement for federal lands access program match agreement. This is the start of the process. I'll say this is a small match, which is still a lot of money. This is a $10,000 match, which is a part of our, at the end of the project, proposed $800,000 match for a much larger project. The total project is an $8 million project. Our responsibility for the match, and this is on our road department, is 10.27% of that's a required match. This will start the process. They'll come out and rescope the project this fall. And when we rescope this project, we are fully intending to hopefully work, they'll get that match total amount down, take the scope of the project, maybe a little less amount of grind out all the way down. We should be able to have some cost savings, so at the end of the day, we might be able to get our match reduced, still end up with a good product, and be able to use in kind quite a bit, not just hard dollars for our match. So we need to do this match agreement today. Legal counsel's reviewed it. The road official has reviewed it, and this doesn't bind us to absolutely the 800,000. If you read the part of it, I know you guys haven't had a chance to fully review it. I have to take my word on this one, and legal counsel's word. But this starts a process to be able to get the dollars, and this is on the Dinner Creek Road up in Silver Lake area. I probably hit and missed several different things. I guess a couple of questions before I make the motion, possibly, if I can answer them.
Well, I'm familiar with the subject matter.
Yeah, I am too. I don't have any problem taking your word, but when you said legal counsel, that kind of threw me.
You threw you for a loop, and I said legal counsel
Yeah.
reviewed it. I did get it to both legal counsel and to the road official this morning, and they both came with thumbs up. So with that, I'll make a motion to enter into the Federal Lands Access Program match agreement as presented.
I'll second it.
Motion made, second, for accept. Any other clarifications needed?
I will work, I will have Denise, Christie is out of town, get together with our accounts payable and get the check put together, within the time frame of, get it taken care of this afternoon.
Appreciate good effort on that. Yeah, that had a $800,000 match, which was a pretty concern.
It is, after our road official had come to us and he had made the recommendation, go ahead with this grant. It's still there, but we should be able to negotiate that down, have a different deal to look at, and working very well with Federal Lands Access Program to bring that cost down. Don't know where it'll be, but this is the start. They're gonna be here scoping it, and gives us another opportunity to renegotiate.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate the work on it. That covers all the things on the agenda?
Can I give one just quick department update?
Yeah.
So yesterday, our gentleman from GovDeals, our auction site that's gonna be selling our vehicles, was in town. He took all of the pictures, got all of the information on our 5 units that are gonna be sold. I will be working with our advertising person and their web person, over the next couple days. We're gonna put a local advertisement in our local paper so that our citizens know where they're gonna be able to find those items. And they anticipate having those online by the 14th. We'll be able to let everyone know a firm date, hopefully here in the next couple days, but pretty exciting. I'm
Yeah.
pretty excited to be working with them, so
Yeah, this
they,
seemed like
they
a
do
positive.
some great work.
Frank and the audience, and can I give us just a little caption of how we used to advertise
Okay.
an auction and what
So-
we're doing now?
We used to do our auctions locally, and we just would advertise in the local paper, the Herald News, and on the internet that we were gonna do a public auction on site. We generally had 8 to 10 people show up so we weren't really marketing our county vehicles very well. So we weren't getting quite the revenue back from them that we should have been getting. This opportunity goes web wide, so we could have buyers from anywhere. So we're pretty excited to get it checked out. We do have 5 vehicles, so we're gonna see how it goes.
I'm sorry, I might not have heard everything you said, but we are doing some advertising local, make sure that the locals know that
Correct.
this is a process we're going to, because you have the locals that
Yeah.
are very interested, but whenever Denise and I met with him, very interesting of what all they can market for, this is what they do. I mean,
It's not just vehicles.
not just vehicles, we haven't talked with our sheriff yet, but evidence room stuff can be liquidated through here, which is, then you have all perfect track record of it and everything. It's a tool that might be very, very good for us to use multiple departments.
As far as office equipment, that kind of stuff, we don't have to stockpile it anymore for an annual auction. We could just do it and get it out of our way. So
That's
it's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Coming to the
So-
21st century.
Denise, the legal counsel, there was so much going on yesterday. The legal counsel indicated if he had any legal updates or if we're having an executive
He did
session
not, he
now.
said to just call him. If he did have anything for open session, he'd let us know then, but as of this morning, he didn't. So
But our
whenever you're ready.
executive session that we were gonna, I don't know when that.
I told him sometime between 10:30 and 11, we will be calling him.
Thank you.
You've almost got that exact sometime.
Yeah.
I'm almost right dead in the middle, once in a while.
That's a rarity out of this board.
If you make the window big enough, you can get through it.
I found that to be true.
So, any other department updates? Ginger,
Yes,
go ahead.
I thought it might be a good time to give you an update about a few things that are happening that I think are exciting. In the northland of the county, I've been meeting on a fairly regular basis with about 4 or 5 folks. They really don't have a name, it's just a community core group that has been coordinating the 4th of July parade, which by the way was great fun. And their fireworks display was outstanding. That was a good thing to do. Most of what they're doing is they're trying to take a look at the kinds of things that they might be able to do to generate some improvements in the central area of Christmas Valley. And they are really interested in trying to do something with the lodge. And I think they've been in touch with Darwin about getting some things cleaned up, trying to exercise some pressure, if you will, to get some cleanup going there. And anyway, I think they're moving along. I believe that they have more support than some folks have had in the past to do some of these things. I don't know how much of that might have affected your trip up there about the nuisance issues. I don't know if any of that group was really involved with any of that. SCOED and I'm blanking on her name, at the Small Business Development Center are gonna be doing a SMART class, a startup business class there next Monday, July 11th, from 1 to 3 at the library for anyone who is interested in learning how to develop a business plan and do a startup business up there. I've been working with a couple of people, V&V Auto, I don't know if any of you are familiar with them. They are really trying to get their auto repair business off the ground, and I'm hoping that they will be attending. And then there's another person who does home-based botanicals. She makes lotions and that sort of thing. She's been selling it in the Gifts and More store. And I'm putting together a destination shopping trip for folks in the south end of the county to go and visit the new quilting shop in Paisley, and also up to the Willows in Christmas Valley on August 20th. So you may be seeing more about that in the newspaper. I need to get with Jimmy about that. Now might be a good time to let you know that we also, we got the USDA broadband feasibility study grant. We haven't got all the formal paperwork to fill out for it, so that we know exactly when we're gonna be starting the project. But that, if you'll remember, is a partnership with Modoc County to include Plush and Adel, Warner Valley area, and the Surprise Valley area in a feasibility study, so that we can try to get some better broadband service on the ground. And as soon as all of that initial paperwork is done, we'll be hitting the ground running. We have approximately, we don't have quite a year to get the information, the surveys, and the consulting work done, so that we can, this particular grant was to allow us to get the information we need to go to the next step, to actually do a grant to get hopefully hardware and the whole system on the ground. So we're really excited about that. That grant was a little over 19,000.
Okay, well.
Yeah, it was a little over 19,000 from USDA, and then we had a match of 20%, and I think we got around 1,000 from Modoc County, and then we have some match from SCOED and also from the county. And I'm sorry, I don't remember off the top of my head.
And that's okay, whenever we sort of went forward with this, we just hoped we'd get more than Modoc County, but that's only when
Right.
it was committed, so that's where it ended up, just.
That's where it ended up, and it's actually, it's a really good doable project for the time frame that we've got, so
Okay.
that's good.
It's more better on the two county as far as.
I like that word more better.
Yeah, it's more better for
I
sure
use that pretty often.
in that regard, although it would be exciting to have it a little bigger. I kind of am thinking that it could be a model for, maybe, it's sort of, you do it and maybe they'll see and wanna do a similar thing, which would be really good for them too. With a Lakeview Community Partnership has received an AmeriCorps Rare position for 2016-17, beginning in September. That position will, they'll be located here until probably August of 2017. That's that's going to be very helpful in the projects that the Lakeview Community Project has embarked on, including, looking at the feasibility of the Alger Theater and downtown restoration efforts. It just so happens tomorrow and Friday, the historic preservation folks from Salem will be in town with their interns doing a inventory of our historic buildings downtown, in preparation for possibly applying for a historic district. We don't know, exactly what might happen with that, but at least we're getting some, we're moving forward, or they're moving forward with all of that, hoping that there's something that comes out of that for the downtown area. We're also looking at a housing study. The Lake County Economic Development Advisory Group has been in touch with a group out of Portland that also did a study for Klamath County. And we're just in the baby stages of looking at a scope of work that they are preparing for us to look at what our housing, we know we have housing needs. We want to really drill down into what it is and be working with the larger employers that are located in the south part of the county that are struggling to get adequate employees here, or get employees here because of our housing issues, both temporary and permanent. So that's just taking off, and we'll be sure and keep you posted on how that's moving forward. We probably don't have much to offer in terms of information until the Leland Group gets their scope of work completed for us, but I anticipate that we'll have that before the end of the month. So that will be good information to share with you all.
Just to add a little bit on that, the major employers, like the Forest Service, they recruit for seasonal help and also permanent help, and they're just not adequate housing, so they have a big turnover, or people rejecting the job offer here. Same with bureaus. Hospital has a similar scenario, that it's hard for them to get people to move here when they can't find adequate housing. And if we get Red Rock to come here, there'd be a big demand for housing. So we're trying to get ahead of the game a little bit to see if there's a plan that we're gonna address the housing issue. It's basically in the private sector, but any information we can gain that we might be able to help with the private sector leverage or whatever.
It's been a while, those studies were done back when the prison was coming in, you could at least reflect back on those.
Right,
It's already been 10 years, but
I know, it's
But,
amazing.
our
Right.
population hasn't changed a whole bunch, so those studies should show a little bit and be helpful.
Population hasn't changed much, but our needs have changed a little bit, or the needs of the major employers have changed a little bit, so,
Some of
we'll
our-
find out more
Some of
about
our
that.
housing is 10 years older than it was then.
yes, it is.
Is that politically correct?
Yes, it is, yes, it is.
So you're telling me it's vintage?
That's been our problem a lot of the time, is
Yeah.
the aging housing that we have.
Right,
It really is for some of the needs that come in.
We
Yes.
appreciate the update, thank you.
sure.
Any other updates, gentlemen?
Now, we better, I'm sorry.
I don't
No,
have-
I don't have any.
I'll just say, I was absent yesterday because I took my wife and the 3 dogs, my dad, of course, to Christmas Valley, hope to catch a parade, but some endeavors around my house interfered with that. I understand it was one of the best that they've had,
That's
and
fun.
they had a very good concert. Matter of fact, the concert folks are gonna be here on Labor Day, the same folks, and the fireworks at front loose, sure, beats front observation right in front of me with the fireworks. It was outstanding.
Well, I have to talk about our fairgrounds here. I was there for the whole day, and everything there was outstanding also. I mean,
That's
the
great.
fireworks were unbelievable. Todd and Lori was there, actually. Most of us had sat through all of it, thought it was over with. We got up to leave, and they came with a second round. And I sat in the grandstand, just right there in front of me, like you say. One of the bands, the band that played here went up to Christmas Valley. So
Yeah.
the connection there, the kids play house and water slide and everything, there's a lot of kids there, so, you know, we just can't be every place that's going on in Lake County, but, Ronnie done a good job out there, and the people associated with that, it was a good turnout. The bull riding, bronc riding was good, but what was really interesting to me was the local talent show. Had 6 different singers that came out there and performed. And when it's local, it really entertaining to me. So I'm not gonna name any names, but there's local people there, they all deserve some kudos, so.
Many kudos. I see I've been in Lake County 16 years, and I see a growth of vitality beginning to, but I like that.
Yeah, yeah, it's a good 4th of July this year.
How was it in Payson?
Quiet. I was down here most of the time with my wife's relative that was in the hospital, so we spent a good day, a good part of the 4th of July down at the hospital.
Well, we was able to cover both ends of the county.
We did.
Any other updates? Legal counsel?
We'll get him on phone, and we're gonna take a break for just a minute while we get him on.
5-minute break.
I'm ready for that.
At the end of the session.
What's the subject?
I don't know, is this executive? Is this executive?
It will be. We'll come into public and